Hey, fat fish heads. It's time. Hottest new podcast on all platforms. Fat Fish. Sit back and strap yourself in for the wildest ride on the open seas. Now, flap your fins for the fabulous Fat Fish brothers, Eric Fish Snyder and Brad Grunny Grunberg, a.k.a. Snacks.
Hello. We
Fat
are
Fish.
Yes, and you know what? We are Fat Fish 59. Wow.
Huge.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I thank you, buddy. You have worked so hard for this, and I just show up. And I love you. This is really a lot of fun. I look forward to it.
You look for it. Yeah, I can't tell you the accolades. I'm gonna kiss our own asses. We had Tony Apasano on last week, manager of Rickles and Sinatra, and just the feedback was phenomenal because I don't know if there's a dry eye of my family when they referred to the point when Tony O said he was holding Sinatra's hand when he died. Sinatra's one of the biggest entertaining, wouldn't you agree, the biggest entertaining icons in the history of the planet? And you're holding the guy's hand when he passes away. Wow, teary-eyed.
I put Sinatra, Elvis, in that category. Yeah, when he said he was holding his hand, and when the housekeeper started crying and all that stuff, it was just his time, and very special guy. And Tony O is a very interesting character. Moy, he has a memory like you, a photographic memory. It was one of our best, don't you think?
Well, yeah, and then you give a guest like that, and you ran with it. It was great. You know the guy, and he's got that New York aura, and that sort of like that street sense about him. It just adds to the ambiance of the show. But I get a lot of emails this week, and they said, you and Brad, you're too fun. You're too fun loving and this and that. I go, well, that's what we do. Because what do you think about world events? So I have a meme here, and I'm gonna lead into this, and I want your take. I wake up right now in the morning, I turn on the news, and I wish I looked like her, but I'm
Wow.
I'm like you. I'm like, what the fuck is going on in the world right now? I'm going to say it. I'm going to get controversial. Okay. There are protests at exactly 15 universities in the United States, major ones: North Carolina, Texas, UCLA, USC, Columbia. And it's coming out that probably 50 to 80% of the people that are protesting aren't students. Here's my problem. I want your take on it. Let these kids go to school. You're blocking fucking libraries. These kids are about to graduate. Why are you taking that on the kids? Could you imagine having a kid, Brad? You put to Columbia 3 or 4 years ago, getting ready for the graduation, and they got to maybe delay it because these protesters protesting something, which, guess what? You're allowed to protest in this country. That's part of your First Amendment rights. But I don't get pissed off when I see the law enforcement taking these people apart. Stop blocking the schools. I don't understand that referendum. Do you?
Let me tell you something. I'm pro-protest, yes, free speech, but no violence. Okay. I see these kids kicking each other's ass at UCLA, and that's all wrong. No. You have your views on something. There's the other side, and you're bringing attention to a terrible thing that's happening in the world. But please don't climb into a window and start vandalizing Royce Hall. I mean, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, everything that you're trying to do is going down the tubes, because now you become a felon, or is a misdemeanor, or felon, whatever. But everybody should be arrested. Let's stop this nonsense. Let's get everything right. Let's take, I got my opinions on, Israel and Gaza. You have yours. I just want peace. I just want this to end and us to go on. It's a terrible thing. And then, of course, takes away from Mr. P in Russia with his war. I mean, it's unbelievable, but it's part of life.
I'm you know what? It's to the point right now when you see, you're right, when they're in Royce Hall, when they're barricading, so kids can't get to class. When you're taking it out on the students, because the students are going to school to schools that give money to Israel. Well, guess what? Those same schools give money to other countries. It just that they're our allies. They've been our allies before, and they will be afterwards. Whether you want to get political on this thing, that's one thing. Don't take it out on the kids. And you know what? President Biden, whether you like him or not, has every right to call in the National Guard. I totally agree with that because, again, the bastion of society is a school supposed to be a place of innocence, of
Hiring learning.
intellectuality and stuff like that, learning. And the Kent State things that happened in '68 when you and I were kids. Well, you weren't born yet, but I was.
I was born.
Yeah, you're
I was
38 years
I was
old. How the fuck could you be born? But I'm just saying, you got to get it. You have to. There's got to be a common ground. Protest somewhere else. You know what? I got an idea. You know, protest in front of some of the studios like Disney that are fucking the actors over and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Don't let some of the big studio heads that screwed Grunberg over and a lot of his acting friends and people in the business. Don't let them go to their offices or something like that. Take it out on Hollywood. Don't take it out on the universities. I'm done. You have the final say on that.
I agree. Let these kids graduate. This is like a COVID operation here. The same thing where they're shutting down every student who goes through the curriculum deserves to walk right across that stage. And they say their name and they hand them their diploma. And that's that. Okay. You want to protest? No problem. I'm all for that. But violence and vandalism, fuck you. Okay. I saw this thing on the news. This Jewish kid wanted to go to his class. He was walking on this path that he always said these Palestinian students blocked him. They wouldn't let him go. What the fuck you doing? Stay in your area. Let the students get to class. I don't understand it. And vice versa. If a Jewish student was there blocking Palestinians to go to class, let everybody study. Let them at least finish this year out, please. I mean, God, it's just
take it off. Take it away. Yeah. The moral of the story from Brad and Grunny, from Grunny and Fish and Grunny, is take it off the campuses. Show another way to protest. You're being heard. That's why they're doing it. But it's a bad. And then of course the liberal media is like, why are the cops going in there? Why is it? Because they're defending the schools. They're defending the right for these kids to go to class. And these people that are doing this obviously aren't students. If they are, don't give a shit about their classes. I'll finish one thing. How excited was Jerry and Sandy when you graduated the University of Arizona? They were probably there to watch you get your diploma. And how happy was Brad Grunberg? I was excited when my parents too. Rest in peace. But how excited was Brad Grunberg to get that diploma? Because I know you had to buy someone off for it, and you know your parents were excited to see you.
Fish, let me tell you something. I squeaked by like Jesper Coin. I have no idea how I graduated. I stood up in the business section and I was like, how did this fucking happen? And then what happens is, I don't know if you know this, you go through commencements, then they send you your last report card. If you fail a class, you gotta go back the next semester in the fall. So funny story. My mom was going out to lunch. She goes, "You want to go?" I go, "No," because I knew my report card was coming. It was really close. So then I heard the post guy in his little truck go up the street. I ran out to the mailbox, it was there. I ran into my parents' bathroom. I opened it. I was like a combat soldier. I was on my stomach, opening it up, and I go through a B, a C, and 3 Ds. Yes, I graduated with a 2.13. The business school you had to graduate at 2.1. I was so happy because guess what? My grade point average wasn't on my diploma.
No, it's never on your diploma. You would have been so happy if you're the only guy I know would be happy if these protests happen now at the University of Arizona and I can't go to school today. Great,
exactly.
Not have an excuse. I had a final today and a thesis paper due. Keep protesting, but no, it's not. We make fun of a lot of things. We'll get off that. I got to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, check out this meme. This is Brad and Fish when they were kids. All right. This is what we think all the time, and this is us. Want a day drink? I mean, look how cool that kid is.
Oh my God. Look at that guy in his Speedo. That kid's cool. Is he wearing a mullet? Is that a mullet?
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had
Very
one too.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
but
funny. That's
can I say
funny.
something right now? I am downloading. It took a while, but TikTok took us on. TikTok is one of
Wow.
the most internationally famous, you know, social media sites. And right now, if you want to check out the entire Wingman sizzle reel, go to TikTok at. I mean, I forgot my own thing. It's coming up right. Look at the bottom crawl. Okay,
Oh,
clips of
at
Fatfish on
fish
Pat Talk. Or
6134.
say that
61.
again, buddy.
That's fish 6134.
At
That's how
Fish
you.
6134.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with the wingman, which is great. Then I got pictures of Grunny when he did the dance, the funniest thing I've ever shown on this show for the Game Boy commercial. A lot of that. Then we're going to put on the best of, and then we got 59 shows, and we're going to do the best of. So catch us on TikTok. We're really
Yeah.
excited about adding that to another outlet that you can
Yeah.
watch Fatfish. Brad,
Yes. Very exciting.
2008. Someone asked me this about because they said, Brad Grumberg, man. Nikki Minks asked me this. I saw it. It says hello, the whole family. They were in another night. It was what's the kid's brother's name? It was Austin's birthday, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
Austin was telling his girlfriend, Sharice, you got to watch this guy's podcast. So it's a little awkward. She pulls it up on her phone and she's watching it while I'm bartending, right? And she's laughing her ass off, and she's laughing
Really?
and it was the episode that we just bantered a couple of weeks ago, and we're going back and forth. Make a long story short, I said 2008. All right. That's when Facebook came around. How long when you I'll ask you first and I'll go. When Facebook started, wasn't it great to look up everyone, girls that dumped you 30 years ago or whatever? Well, you're 38, so you were 8 years old, so it wouldn't happen. But I must have looked up everyone in my life. And then today, even in 2024, there was a guy that I met I remember meeting in Westwood. You remember me? I'm a Russian guy. You were getting your ass kicked outside of Hamburger Hamlet, and I helped you. I remember
Oh,
the guy. Yeah.
why were you getting your ass kicked?
Some guy was messing with my girl, and it
Oh,
was, I was a kid. I'd like that. And then the guy's name is Vladimir. I was dating a girl, and two guys came out of there's a movie theater still there, the Man Theater,
yeah,
and they
yeah.
bumped her, and I go, hey, dude, what's going on? F you, this and that. Go back to the
Wow.
valley. I go, I don't live in the valley, So
You
I'll
threw
kind of
down.
that's a typical LA shit. So this guy. So how many
Wait.
friends do you have on Facebook?
Well, I will answer that question, but I want to ask you a question about the fight. You stood up for your girl, right? And did you get a little nookie that night? Oh, I lost you. Where'd you go? Yeah, chivalry is not dead. Let me tell you. Fish stood up for his girl. Two guys jumped him, and then the Russian. He was like the Russian guy from Rocky IV, right? Dolph Lundgren came and kicked ass. We're having a technical difficulty, but we're 13 minutes into show number 59. By the way, I want to tell you about this Cloudwater. We're promoting Cloudwater. Mark and Barry, the owners of this, they came up with this unbelievable product. You go to cloudwaterbrands.com. They have all sorts of flavors. It's really good for you. You can also, it can be a great mix into your vodka, your tequila, whatever you drink. But let me tell you something. Oh man, this stuff is so good. So good. Happy birthday to Al Pacino. Oh man, what an actor. Had a kid at 80 years old. I guess I still have hope. But get your cloudwaterbrands.com. You can find out where they sell it, or just have Mark or Barry send you a case like they do us. Great stuff. Cloudwaterbrands.com. Check it out. I'm going to take a sip. It's so good. There he is. No, that's me. Hey, God, I look so good. Al Pacino. Who's better looking, Al Pacino or myself? Okay, Al Pacino. But God, what a career. What a career. What's your favorite? Send an email to Fish. What is your favorite Al Pacino movie? Oh, God. Dog Day Afternoon. Oh, I think I know mine. Tony Montana, Scarface. Oh, my God. Say hello to my little friend. Oh, man, that was a great scene. He's a good guy. I heard a friend of mine does his nails and his toes. he goes over to his home, and he's the greatest guy. There he is. There's Al Pacino. But my friend does his nails, says he's a great guy. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Can't
Stop.
hear you.
I tell every fucking person in my life, quit. You cannot call when I'm doing a podcast. It takes it off. Whatever it is, StreamYard is not good with phone calls, right? It takes you out, and it's impossible to get back on.
Why
Right?
don't you get a dedicated line?
I'm on a phone. I don't have a dedicated line.
No, if you had a dedicated line, that wouldn't happen.
So I don't know what you talked about. So you want to keep this going? I have no idea what you said or what you did.
Finish? Is it all right if I finish? You're nervous. Yeah. You're very nervous today.
I'm pissed. I'm pissed off.
I know.
We can't get a fucking show in.
All right, relax. Your face is getting red.
Good.
Cloudwater, man. I'm talking about Cloudwater.
Oh,
Cloudwater brands. Isn't it so good? I'm telling you how people can get some for themselves. You got the case from Mark, right? You got the
case? I got a new case. I did.
Yeah. It's so good. I turned my friends onto it. God, it'd be great if Shucks would let you mix some drinks with it, right?
They would, but they'd have to make a deal to buy it, and that's
okay, all right.
Bulk,
maybe down the line. But Cloudwater has been so good to us, and we are promoting their product. Delicious. Get it for the weekend. Cinco de Mayo. Let me ask you about Cinco de Mayo. Is your bar going to be pretty much packed for Cinco de Mayo, or not really?
No.
Okay.
No.
People celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
They do. Mexican restaurants in the neighborhood will do it. We'll have we'll do a couple of specials and stuff like that. Right. But we're a fish house and we're a gaming establishment, so it's not. I never understood these. I never understood. Do you think that in Mexico they celebrate Independence Day? Or do you think in Ireland they do that? Why don't we do St. Patrick's Day? Right?
Yeah, I know. Well, we do it because people like to party. That's why. Okay. No, I just it is what it is. People like to get out, and they like to have fun with their friends. But I think it will be a good weekend. I think it's going to be a good week. A lot of people.
Exactly. I don't know. I don't. It went. It's right. Well, hang on. I want to talk about this guy for a second. I saw him on there. I'm trying to get back on the show. I don't know what you said about him, but it's his birthday, obviously. And did you talk about the fact that he's 84 years old and just had a baby?
I mentioned that. I also mentioned, what is your favorite Al Pacino movie? I said either Dog Day Afternoon, but my real favorite is Scarface. Say hello to my little friend. And that was a great scene.
My two favorite.
Yeah.
My other one was smell of a woman, scent of a woman.
Smell of a woman. Put that thing back on with that girl with the
smell of a woman, blood orange and coconut.
Yeah. Put that girl back on with the creams. The creams for the smell.
Oh no, God, no, no. I meant scent of a woman. He is such. Do you think that 84 years old, you and I could still do that? You think we could still pregnant a woman?
Let me tell you something. I don't know. I don't know if I can do it now at 38. But let me tell you. By the way, my favorite actor. They just found him I saw him on a reel. 94 years old, Gene Hackman is living in Santa Fe, New Mexico, living his life. 94. He quit acting 20 years ago. He's my favorite actor. He is underrated, don't you think? Hoosiers. Oh, what a movie! What a movie! There's a movie called The Package with Dennis Franz. So good. He's my favorite. Really.
Give me your best two. I'll give you my best two. Go do it.
Gene Hackman. I like for Gene Hackman.
Please.
Yeah, Gene Hackman. I like. Let's see. I like Hoosiers. One of my favorite movies, Hoosiers. And when he, what was the movie that he, in the car,
French Connection.
French Connection. Yes.
Oh, Popeye Doyle.
Popeye Doyle. Yeah. He's really.
My two favorite ones. He did a Francis Ford Coppola film called The Conversation, where he thinks he's a CIA, but he plays the clarinet. He's nominated. But we brought up Pacino, right? So you bring up Hackman. They did a film together. One of their first films they ever did in 1972 was called Scarecrow, where they play two misfits that are just trying to hitchhike across the country. And they both get out of jail, and it's incredibly tear-jerking. The acting, the young Hackman, it's phenomenal. it's sad to see that these guys. You say he's 94 and retired, right?
Right.
Um, there's talk. There's talk that Pacino. They're thinking about doing Godfather 4 with Andy Garcia,
Ugh.
Pacino. Because you remember if you watch the original Godfather 3,
Yeah.
Pacino dies at the end of the movie.
Right.
Now, when you watch the one called Coda that's on HBO, they fade to black when he's sitting there with the sunglasses on, and he's sitting all alone because he's fucked everyone's life up because he gets his daughter killed, and they cut it right there so they could do a sequel. That'll be interesting to see how they write that film, because, but
listen, I believe that some of these movies should, have another one, but some movies shouldn't even see the light of day. They're looking for IPs now. That's all they want. The bottom line is we're such a creative business. Let's come up with some new shit. I want to see a really good comedy. And by the way, everybody, Fish and I got some stuff brewing. We can't talk about it, but it's going to be really exciting. And we're going to be working together other than this podcast. And by the way, I tested it in the lift. I tested our little show in the. Oh my gosh, people were crying. They were laughing.
what show's that?
Well, I can't say. Can't say anything about it because people will steal it.
Fish, you got more projects than I do. I got the podcast. I wrote a screenplay. I just completed a novel.
You did?
I did. I just wrote a novel. I'm going to try and get it published on Amazon within.
Great.
Yeah.
So is there an actor? Oh, how old?
No, it's a novel. No, everything with you is an actor. Okay, I'll tell you what. There's an actor part. I think about Godfather 4.
Yeah.
You could play Luca Brasi's great-great-grandson. You look like him,
I do. Okay.
You know who Luca Brasi is?
I love to work. I would love to work in on that level with Francis Ford Coppola. God, all the boys, man. What a movie.
Right.
Goodfellas. What a movie. Pesci. I love those. I still always think of My Cousin Vinny because my grandma and I both loved it. We went to a screening at Fox and it was free, and my grandma liked that. But it was so funny. Joe Pesci is one funny mother effer. Wow. Great movie. There's some great movies. I tell the youngsters, go back to the 80s and 90s. You're going to love the movies. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. All the John Hughes movies, Breakfast Club, all that stuff. Pretty in Pink. People, they don't make movies like that anymore. It's all about Marvel and spaceships and bullshit and monsters and oh my gosh, it's just terrible. But hopefully, right? Johnny Cocktails Entertainment will bring back some of the love.
Let me ask you this: I have Tubi TV as one of my streaming sites, and I just watched 2 movies. How did I miss these 2 movies? I was alive, thank God. One came out in 2004, and the other came out in the maybe mid-90s. How did I miss? And I watched them both, and they're brilliant. Last of the Mohicans with Daniel Day-Lewis and The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise. Phenomenal, great stories, great acting. I mean, have we lost that? You're right. Every single movie out, it seems like it's an action adventure or it's all CGI and spaceships blowing up.
How old were you in the 90s? How old were you in the 90s?
12. If you're 38, I was maybe.
So I know what you were doing. You were in your room, and your mom said dinner time, and you were busy, relieving yourself. How young were you when you watched porn for the first time?
Brad. Now, in the 90s, let me tell you something. And this still holds true today. You set yourself up. You think I'm a funny guy, I learn from you. I'm going to take your cue. Okay. In the 90s, I was already married and had a kid and purchased my first house. Okay. You were still living with your parents, and you still are. So
true. Very true. Oh, God.
It's funny. My best friend Craig Persky and we used to sneak into a movie theater called the Americana in like it was on Parthenia and Tarzana because we paid guys let us in because they showed these like soft core porns. It was called The Cheerleaders in 1974. We were 14. I just moved to the Valley from the city, right? Wow. And if you watch the cheer, you can see it on Tubi. I'm doing a nice little plug for Tubi TV. It's amazing the films that came out then. It's about cheerleaders at an Amorosa high school, and all they do is bang everybody, from the school teachers to the coaches to the
Wow.
parents of the players to the players of
Wow.
the other teams have a big game. And you see everything, man. You remember back in the the 70s, there were bushes, huge,
You
and
Amazons, yeah.
and the guys, they had so much hair in their underpits. I mean, when you're hugging a girl, they must have stunk like a horse. It was unbelievable. But
Stunk. I'll tell you a story. Friend of mine and I heard that John Holmes had a new film coming out, and the Vista, all the way at the end of Hollywood Boulevard, all the way. And there's this little theater, and we go in, and we're sitting there, and all of a sudden start filling up with all these guys, and yeah, right, we're going to see John Holmes at his best, right, with some hot chicks, and so the movie starts. The first scene is a kid coming out. He plays a king, and he's on his throne, and the kid drops to his knees and starts to give him kepi, and we're like, holy shit, where are we? This was his first foray into the gay world of porn. So we got up and got out, and I asked the movie girl behind the counter. I said, "Is John Holmes here yet?" "Oh yeah, he's next door, having coffee." And we go in. He's reading Variety. Okay, he's reading Variety. We go, "Mr. Holmes, we just wanted to say hello, get an autograph." And he wrote an autograph to my sister, Tiffany. He goes, "Tiffany, John Holmes, I hope it still hurts." That was his. But he was a really nice guy, businessman, But I'm like, we're like, why are you doing, why did you go into the gay world in porn? And he said, money. I need money. So, but he was a legend, and he went out with some bad shit, man. He remember that whole thing? Remember on Wonderland Avenue, all that stuff? Oh God.
Sure. Did Val Kilmer play him in the movie? I thought it was a phenomenal role. I forgot it. Val Kilmer played him. I think.
Yeah, that's right. They did a
Johnny
movie about
Holmes.
it. Yes. Val Kilmer, great actor. Yeah.
That's that. The whole thing about porn is they did a lot of porn in the Valley.
Yeah.
Boogie Nights. Boogie Nights is one of the greatest. Okay, Mark Wahlberg. My two favorite Boogie Nights by far is my favorite Mark Wahlberg film.
Great movie.
And I think the second one is like, boy,
is it Ted? You like Ted?
No, it wasn't no. No, it was the one where he's it wasn't Ted. You go. What's your favorite two films? It was I'm picturing it, but I can't think of the name.
No, I like Ted. That was funny. Ted 1, Ted 2 was really funny. And it was the guy, the voices of the guy from Family Guy. He's such a talented guy. But Mark Wahlberg, he's solid, man. He's a solid actor. He really is. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, maybe. I mean, that's one of my favorite songs. That's a great song. Yeah, right.
I got it.
Yeah,
you love it. You one of your favorite actors, Nicholson, DiCaprio, The Departed. I think he was nominated for that. Alec Baldwin. He was so good, playing Martin Sheen's cohort as and he actually becomes a hero in the film. Mark Wahlberg, but Mark Wahlberg's a genius. Mark Wahlberg is the executive producer of Entourage, which is basically the story of his life. Huge franchise, and Ballers with The Rock.
Ballers, yeah,
and other things he's done. Every time I look at it, it's him and how about this guy? Did you ever meet this guy? You met everybody in Hollywood. I'm a big Peter Berg fan. You ever meet Peter Berg?
Peter Berg, yes, I met him once or twice in the commissary. He's a really good director. He was a great actor, but he's a great director. I want to tell all our viewers, if they just chimed in, we are Fat Fish Podcast. This is number 49. I'm Brad Grunny Grunberg, a.k.a. Snacks, and that is Eric Fish Snyder. And we reconnected after a long period of time and started this. It's been the best. And I'm telling you, it's even going to get better and better. And now we're on TikTok. Fantastic. I'm really excited about that. You can sell some of this.
You never correct someone in the middle of a podcast, but since we recorded, we're actually not live today because I knew it'd be a screw up with all the new stuff.
Okay.
I can edit it. We're 59, not 49, 59.
Oh, 59. I'm sorry.
Yeah, which is actually your age.
Yeah, I'm thinking about all the burgers, 49 burgers I'm going to order at In-N-Out Burger today in honor of Cinco de Mayo.
Hey, Let's do some shout outs. Let's shout out the two. Then I got a big one. Okay. We're going to do Molly's Challenge. Molly's Challenge is something Andrew Klein, his daughter, the Fatfish, all 59 episodes, or up to when we had Andrew Klein on. It's all about anti-bullying, especially at the teen level. Brad, you go.
Molly Klein. I met her many times. The sweetest girl. Great daughter. Great sister to her brother, Matt. Man, I get emotional. Bullying is a serious, serious matter. I was bullied when I was a kid, called fatty, fat, so all that stuff. But I use my humor to deflect that. Molly was just going to school, 13 years old, and these girls were just relentless. And what happens? We've talked about this before, Fish. It doesn't stop at school. It continues on the cell phone. And one night, she was in her room, and her dad, Andrew, who's one of my best friends, a great guy, and by the way, his wife Stacy, great mother. She had her music on really loud, and he goes, and at a certain age, I believe, I never had children that I know about. You let your child lock their door, to have their privacy. So he knocked on the door. He goes, Molly, turn down the music. It's too loud. So she turned it down, and then she turned it right back up. So he went to get the key, and he opened the door, and she was hanging there. I'm just telling you one thing. The reason I tell this story is because I don't want them to be another Molly. I want people to talk about their problems. I want them to bring up things that are happening in their life. Don't be ashamed. Talk to your parents. It's okay. We all have problems. We all have problems. And if you talk it out, you will find your solace, and you will find a place where you never know you could go. Don't think you're alone. You're not alone. Suicide is the worst of the worst, and especially for a parent. And Molly was only 13. I love you, Molly, and I think about you often, and I hope you're resting in heaven. God bless you.
Yeah. We'll go for the next one. We'll go two. I got a meme for one. First one is Keith Berman's doing better. He's watching the show. Keith, we love you. Keith's fighting the fight of his life right now, but I've never seen someone with his posts on Facebook and his text back and forth that's more positive. It's like you, Brad, extremely positive about everything. And it's not false denial. It's just, hey, this is the way I've lived my life. I'm going to continue living my life, and every moment's precious. All right. I just heard from Bobby Owens, a really good friend of mine, big time friend of the show. I call him Marble, man. I'm making it a point. Grunny and Fish and Grunny are going to be down in San Clemente, California, October 11th for the Nick Pasquale Foundation golf tournament. Okay. October 11th down in San Clemente. Mel and Lori Pasquale put together a golf tournament in honor of this beautiful kid, Nick. Their kid passed away. I don't be Debbie Downer, but he was hit by a car and passed away. And now what they do is they raise money for scholarships for kids that can't afford to go to college. All right.
In Nick's name.
In Nick's name. And big success last time we shouted out. We're going to make our best to be there. And there'll be some celebrities there, hopefully. And Mel and Lori said it's open booze and open food for you too. I said, be careful with that one.
Wow. I was sleeping while you were talking, and now I'm alive. Man.
So we're anti-bullying, and we're pro-life, and we're pro when people have good philanthropy like that. It's fantastic. What we want to shout it out. So,
by the way,
fishgrunny1@gmail.com. If you watch the show or listen, think about a segment that you really like. Shoot it to me. I have them all on tape. I'll edit it and throw it on TikTok, and that way you can go to the TikTok library on our Fatfish page on TikTok, and then boom, see Brad. Look at Brad. Pretty soon you'll see all Brad's acting. You'll see all of Brad's great acting skills on TikTok on Fatfish. Why not?
Are you a one-man show over there in Las Vegas? You edit all this stuff, and your son Max, he's amazing. Does he help? I know he helps too. How did you learn to do all this shit, man? Look at you. Look, take a look in the mirror.
I don't do anything. I learn.
You learn as you go.
Look at this guy, man. Ooh. Learn as I go. I'm not as computer literate as I want to be. And you know me, I get pissed off, but I don't quit. Like I was on TikTok. How come I get this fucking video on? And then when you finally get it, it's like an orgasm. You know.
Somebody asked me about you. Somebody asked me something about you. When you take your glasses off, you're not a bad looking guy. Did you ever have contacts? Did you ever wear contacts?
I'm allergic. I told you, man. In shows 1 through 5, when you called me Mr. Magoo, I am Mr. Magoo.
No,
I'm allergic to contact. I'm allergic. I cannot put contacts in without my eyes just itching up, and I'm allergic to LASIK, so I have to wear glasses. You know, I started wearing glasses till I was 57. What?
I have a new one. I'm not using Mr. Magoo anymore. It's like you're looking through an aquarium. That's what it. Those glasses are so fucking thick, but it's nice because you can see all the fishes go by. See how I tied that in? See how I tied that?
You know what I am, buddy? I'm the bartending version of Clark Kent. Remember those Coke bottle glasses that Clark Kent took them off, and he was Superman. I'm super poor. You know, what can I tell you? Hey, check this out.
You got to read it. I can't see it.
Okay. I told you to bring a couple of ribeyes home for dinner, and she brought 2 rabbis.
Oh God!
We got a little humor.
That's
that's obviously. So I want to change gears to a little sports. We got a lot of time, and is this big? Did you and Jerry and Sandy, maybe the cousins, brothers, sisters, get together? That for whatever reason in our family, when this event came up, and it's coming up Saturday, everyone got together and watched it. I don't know if we ever watched another horse race again. The Kentucky Derby is what is the 150th? 150. I can't read that. I can't remember all right. But it's a huge event in America.
Right.
And people, you ever watch people dress up? You know how many actors and celebrities are going to be in Churchill Downs in Kentucky on Saturday?
Yeah.
Or have you gone?
To answer your question, my dad and I kind of watch it. I just watched the big race. Not a big horse racing fan, but oh my goodness, do they party in Churchill Downs? Woo, baby, party is on. What's the drink?
The mint julep.
Yeah, the mint julep. There you go.
So let me ask you this: Did you go with your friend? I guarantee you did this. Talk about you and your friends growing up in LA like I did, or maybe your dad and you or an uncle. You never went to Hollywood Park or Santa Anita?
Yeah. I went to Hollywood.
Okay, well that's horse racing. You know?
Oh no, I've been to Hollywood Park a couple times. Yeah, with my friends. Oh my God, it's crazy to watch all these guys, man. They fire away, buddy. They find their horses. But you know, it's sad. You know how we found out over the years. You know, these horses are drugged and all sorts of shit goes on. You know, I love horses. You know, when they have to put them down, it just makes me so sad. I love animals. You know. That's why I hang out with you. You're an animal. You're an animal.
Yeah. I can't watch it. Like I'm watching The Last Samurai and I'm watching Last of the Mohicans. And you see, they're shooting the horses go down. I hate that. I know it's just a film, but they're, when they're just why would you kill a horse?
I don't like bullfighting. Oh, is that? Oh, I can't stand bullfighting. That really bothers me. Running of the bulls, Oh. And it's just terrible, man.
Anyone, my dad, rest in peace, Marvin.
Love Marvin.
Marvin said to me, any man that has hit a kid, that has hit a woman, or has hit an animal, hasn't been in a good fist fight with a real man. I've always remembered that.
I love that, Marv.
If you hurt an animal, if you hurt a kid, and if you hit a woman, you're the biggest pussy on the planet.
Right.
And I find me. I'm fishgrunny1@gmail.com. I have zero patience for that.
I do too.
The girl was hit slapping on me. Well, run away. If you're in a domestic dispute. Domestic violence is the number one, Brad, in Vegas, domestic violence is the number one call the cops get.
Yeah, and that's the most serious. You heard what happened in North Carolina. They went to do they went to a house to serve a warrant to a domestic. The guy had an AK and he killed 4 cops. When you go domestic, I think you bring out you got to bring out everybody because you never know what's going to happen. It's such look O.J. Simpson, right? He kicked the shit out of his wife Nicole all those years, and he was whatever. He was arrested. He wasn't arrested, whatever. And then he ends up doing what he did. It took 30 years. We finally got rid of him. But the bottom line is domestic is a very serious thing, man. You don't put your hands on anybody, especially a woman, especially.
Okay.
And if
What
she
could,
hits
yeah,
you,
what
yeah,
oof.
yeah.
I cannot watch the Julia Roberts film, which she did when she was abused in the film, and I can't. You know, look, we are not scripted, but it's a famous film that she did, and
Great
uh,
actress.
and she did a film where she was married to a guy. Patrick Bergin was the actor, and he was very abusive towards her, and she ends up leaving him, and he comes after her, you know.
Oh,
and I
sure.
just don't. I can't watch it. I can't watch it. I started watching. I walked out of the theater. Can't do it.
No,
you know.
can't. No. You know, they're sick. They're like, if I can't have her, nobody can have her. You know, that's
One of the best. Farrah Fawcett that I said that was my. You asked me when I saw my first porno film. First masturbation was her. All right.
in her
She did a
bikini,
film.
The poster.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Come on. Who didn't? Come on. You know we're talking live. Girls, if you think we're raunchy and we're vile here, we're not. You did the same thing. We just talk about it. Not the Farrah Fawcett. Maybe someone else. Maybe Burt Reynolds back in the day. Now, she cut her teeth as an actress, in my opinion, when she did that movie with James Russo called Burning Bed. Remember that? Where she was
Yeah.
just attacked and brutalized. She won an Emmy for that. It was one of the best
She was
TV movies of
very
all
good in
time.
that movie. Was that a
Oh
TV
my!
movie? Was that a TV?
I think that was a TV movie. I think that was like an NBA. Yeah, and it didn't end well for James Russo, but you didn't want it to end well for James Russo.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Great.
Anyways, I don't want to get on that. I'm just saying that
James Russo, what's your favorite? I'll give you my favorite James Russo movie. Ready? 48 Hours, baby.
Yeah.
Great, right? I got the gun. I got the money. I got it.
He's one of
story.
Have you met him?
One time.
Yeah. You know him
He's
on Hollywood.
Great bad guy. He's a great bad guy.
He was great in The Postman. He played the bad guy to Will Patton's character. But my favorite, we did a scene on TikTok from Wingman at All American Burger from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. If you remember, James Russo was the guy that was trying to rob the 7-Eleven at the end.
Right.
And Judge Reinhold pours coffee on his face. You know?
And Spicoli goes, "All right, Hamilton."
Do that again. You do it perfect. Say it again.
All right, Hamilton. Yeah.
Oh, it was so great.
Yeah. That was one of my that movie. I tell all the young kids stands the test of time. You could put that in today and just laugh your balls off. It's so great. I mean, Forrest Whitaker. Oh my gosh, right? I was just talking about with a friend of mine, Ray Walston, Mr. Hand. Oh, him and Sean Penn, their interactions when they were on the screen together, just pure gold, just so great.
Sean Penn went to a rival high school of yours. Okay, I got 3 films from him that I absolutely State of Grace, At Close Range, top of my head. Did you see him in I Am Sam with Michelle Pfeiffer?
No,
he was mentally challenged. And he tried to raise his own baby.
Yes.
He's oh my God. Harvey Milk. He played Milk. Is there a better? I mean,
Harvey Milk. Oh God,
he played the movie called was Milk. And
Milk.
And
he was phenomenal. Let me ask you: you watch all these movies. How do you find time to do all this stuff?
I watched all these movies when I was your age, 38. Now I'm actually working. I'm learning how to edit this shit.
Now. You're watching Netflix. You watch everything, man.
Well, I'm trying to. Everyone says to me, "You talk. You're a sports and entertainment podcast." So I said, "How do I miss these movies? I don't know how I miss these movies." So I'm going to put you on the spot. Give me a movie. I'll give you. I said it before on a podcast or in one of our earlier 59 episodes. The most underrated movie I've ever seen. 2, okay. The Pope of Greenwich Village with Mickey Rourke and Eric Roberts. Go see it, people.
Great.
And then Inside Moves with David Morse and John Savage. That came out in 1980. It's about basketball. You'd love it. Very heartwarming story. And Pope of Greenwich Village was written by a guy named Vincent Patrick. It's a bartender his whole life. And he wrote a script, and he got it to Burt Young, rest in peace, just passed away, who had a major role in the film. And that's how films got done those days. He read the script and goes, how's this thing not done?
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
your two? What's your two?
Well, one is the package. I mean, it didn't do great at the box office, but man, was it entertaining. Like I said, Dennis Franz, Gene Hackman, just so good. And you know when you engage in a movie and and you never look at your watch, you know, you're just watching and you're like, this is unbelievable. Never look at your watch, never look at the clock, just enjoy it. That's one. And then let's see, a comedy. I'm just trying to think. Oh, there's been so many great comedies. It'll come to me.
While you're thinking, I
Yeah.
was in the porno version of the package.
Oh, yes. Bada bing. Oh, by the way, I want to tell you, I want to get to the NFL draft if you were happy with what the Raiders got. But before I do that, there's 12 days of Netflix is a joke, is all through LA. I've been lifting people everywhere. They were at the Hollywood Bowl. They were at the Comedy Store, the Laugh Factory. They're everywhere. All these comedians are making people laugh, which I think is great that Netflix did that. For 12 days, you can go see anything. And comedy is subjective. So, what I find funny, you don't find funny. And what you might find funny, I think is terrible. So, so tell me about the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders. Would they get some people you wanted, or were you happy with the draft?
They got a kid. They got a kid, Brock Bowers, who looks like Remember Red Brown in Undercover Valor, which is a great. Red Brown was a L.A. guy. Undercover Valor was not undercover. Yeah, it was a Gene Hackman film in 1983. But I'm going back to Vietnam and getting the POWs out. Good looking surfing kind of guy. They got him as a tight end. I'm in love with this draft. And I know what's great about the Raiders right now is they finally have a GM working with the coach. So that's a great thing.
Oh,
right?
Good.
Going back to football, though, and Brady, you talk about. Are you interested in watching Netflix's roast of Tom Brady on Sunday? Live at 5:00?
Are you kidding me? I didn't even know it was happening. I saw Jeff Ross. He posted something. I go, wait a minute. 5:00, Netflix, the roasts are back. Oh my God. That is going to be great. I hope they slice him up. Slice him up good.
Uncommon Valor. I'm sorry, Undercover. Everything needs sex. Yeah. Undercover Valor that's a porno version. It's Uncommon Valor with Red Brown. I'm excited about the draft. But I want to ask you this: if you're following the NBA playoffs, the Knicks Philadelphia series was by far the most interesting. Wasn't that great? Wow.
How great is that guard for the Knicks? Brunson went to Villanova, I believe.
Right.
And he's a lefty like me. That's why I love him so much. No one can stop him. He is phenomenal. The guy he could be a Hall of Famer. I know that one thing they're going to redo his contract. Wow. They need him to stay in New York. He is so good. And
you have a New York attitude. That's why I like you. My parents are from New York. I think is Jerry and Sandy from New York?
No, my dad, born and raised in Vienna, Austria. And as he says, Hitler was his travel agent. He barely got out. And he went to Ellis Island and he spent his formative years in New York City. And he met my mom and moved to Los Angeles. Yeah.
Okay.
My dad was 30 when he got married. My mom was, I think,
12.
20.
She's 20. So young. 12, 13.
Jailbait. They call him Jailbait Jerry. So.
I love your parents, but you have a New York frame of mind. I know that's a song.
Isn't that a song?
I love it. It's Neil Diamond or someone. Someone will come on and comment.
Alicia Keys, right? New York frame of mind, I think.
Yeah. Billy Joel might have done one version. You're a New Yorker.
Billy Joel.
One thing that's always been a rivalry, and they win because we're born and raised in LA, but I come from New York. The sports fans in New York are incredible. I'm going to ask you something. Could you imagine what New York's going to do? And it's a big possibility. If the New York Knicks and the New York Ranger hockey team are both in the finals and they both play in Madison Square Garden, could you imagine the streets in New York?
How much would those tickets be?
Oh God, it's Spike Lee will be in heaven. But New York sports fans are incredible. They're
Let me
nuts.
tell you
They're
the great
nuts about the
sports fans. I'll
Yankees.
tell you the great sports fans of them all. New York,
By
Boston, okay, Chicago. Oh my God. They don't give it. When the Chicago Cubs were absolutely terrible, the whole place was packed at Wrigley. They love their teams. Cleveland, another one. Here's the thing about LA. We're great fans, but we come late and we leave early. You know what I'm saying? If the game, you always see, people come, no one's there really early tailgating or whatever. They come in late. The game's good. They'll stay to the end or almost the end, or they'll listen to it in the car, listen to Vinny in the car or Chick in the car. Yeah. LA is just, it's just not like New York and Chicago and Boston. Oh, the fans are just fun. They are real fans, real hard-nosed fans. They love their team. I got a couple of friends that are a little, they need some therapy because they get crazy if their team loses. I'll tell you one guy, Nick Turturro, great guy, great actor, NYPD Blue. He loves the Yankees. And I was with him one time. We were watching a game. Oh my God, he was a different person. He was screaming, Joe Torre. I mean, it was just nuts. But that's good. The passion is good.
When I'm watching a Dodger game, and I have the Dodger package here, and when Scully left, a guy named Joe Davis now does the games. And they always show the camera angles behind the pitcher, and they have those $2,500 a game seats right in back. And I come back from a commercial, and Orr Hershiser says, "Well, it must be the seventh inning. It's only a one-run game, but you can see that Larry King and Mary Hart have left already. That's how you know. That's how you know you're beating the traffic." I lost it. Vicky and I are watching that. It's so true. You're right. I mean,
my dad did something special for us in the 70s. Remember the big red machine?
Sure.
George Foster, Geronimo, Pete Rose. So he got dugout seats before you saw Larry King and Mary Hart. Those were dugout seats. So you were in a dugout watching the game, and we were on the red side. And man, George Foster's forearms were so big. Johnny Bench. Oh my God. It was to see the big red machine. I was like 12 years old, was unbelievable. And Pete Rose, he should be in the Hall of Fame, was unbelievable. Just great. Davey Concepcion. I mean, gosh, man, that was a phenomenal team. I mean, they were so good. And I was right there. I've eaten my 5 hot dogs, and then they would come into the batter's box, and they would come into the what do you call it? The where they wait for the next the next. I'm thinking about where I'm going to be eating after this. They were, when they come out and they start, swinging the bat, getting ready to come up next. What is that called? The batter, what do you call that?
What, the little circle that you
what is that called?
And they
on deck circle.
On deck circle. Yeah, it's a circle. Yeah, on deck circle.
Yeah. So it was really fun. I'll never forget that. My dad made that possible. And guess whose seats they were? Glenn Campbell's seats. He had that. He had those seats, and he sold them through a broker.
Was a tall lineman.
But what's doing this weekend? You're going to be working.
I'm working.
Any good stories? We talk about work. Any good stories from work? Any interesting people sit at the bar recently?
Every night. That's what I say to everyone. I said, Fish, I just hit my 44th year in this business on April 30th.
Wow.
And years ago, Max, my son, said, "Dad, what are you going to take from this all?" And I said, "Well, they're not going to give you a gold watch when you retire." And every night I go to work, every single night for 44 years, I meet somebody new and I have a different conversation, just like you in the lift. Because I wasn't rigged. I wasn't wired to be the kind of guy to sit behind a cubicle. And people do it. No offense to you.
Yeah.
I got to move. And I'm able to talk and schmaltz and be myself. And, unfortunately, when you're in my business, you have the gift of gab. And this place allows me to have the gift of gab, Chef's Tavern. If you're going to be a bartender, I always said to bar, "Hey, Fish, I just went to bartending school." I said, any asshole could pour a drink. It's how you handle people that'll make you money. Guarantee you, Brad Grumberg makes more money as tips with his lift because he talks to people and gay. This guy was a great ride. I never knew he was in Shameless with Emmy Rossum. I had a crush on Emmy Rossum. I had the same poster of her like she was in Farrah Fawcett. Just there is a poster of Emmy Rossum like that. You know that, right?
There is.
There is.
Oh,
Yeah. Go check your dad's bedroom.
Find it. Find it, man. Oh, she's really cool. I asked her when we were driving back to a funny story. So I did the scene with McRooney, and he puts me up against the wall. So we're driving back. He goes, "Are you okay, man?" We did that like 25 times. I go, "I can take the pounding of you putting me up against that fucking wall. But man, your fucking breath. Oh, gee, get a fucking mint." Emmy hit the floor. And then I asked her, what kind of guys does she like? She likes nerds. She likes nerds. Tech guy. Well, but she is so sweet. I had such a good time. I was backlot, Warner Brothers. And they made it look like Chicago with all the background artists and the cars. It was it was one of those shows that I'm like, wow, I made it on that show. It was really cool.
Did you ask to sit in because there's a lot of scenes. His name is Steve, I believe, on the show. Mm-hmm. I love the guy. She had to kiss that guy in many scenes. There's sex scenes. You think his breath stunk like that when she had to tell him, man, I can't kiss you. Your breath smells like a.
Oh no, actors do. That's why, like, there's a little, like right by, always on the set. There's like where the director sits. There's always mints and all that kind of stuff.
Let me ask you this, because you're going to be in this situation. You're going to do a lot of more films, more starring roles. I might have something for
your mouth to God's ears.
Yeah, well, you deserve it. Anyways, when they do sex scenes, okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever been around in a set when they're doing a sex? I've always wondered if an actor got an erection because they get into the method thing and making out. I know Farrah Fawcett. They did a real quick. I want you to end the show and take us out, but you give me the story.
I'm going to tell you a story.
Real quick, Joe Namath did a Noxzema commercial where she had to do the thing. Right. And he kept getting an erection. He kept getting a hard on. They did 57 takes because he just started laughing. Have you ever been in that situation? One, where you're in a sex scene, or two, have you ever been on a set where a guy's getting a hard on and the girl just starts laughing? And
I got two stories for you that you'll like. One, I did Eating Las Vegas with Julie Benz, and I never kissed a girl on screen. And she said, "Open mouth, no tongue." I go, "Okay, open mouth, no tongue." So when we were making out, open mouth, no tongue. Julie Benz, a beautiful actress, Eating Las Vegas. I'm gonna get that. And the other story was Gary Gilmore. Remember Gary Gilmore, the murder? They killed him in Utah, firing squad. Well, Tommy Lee Jones played him in the movie, and he had Roseanne Arquette on top of him, okay, riding him in a scene. This is what they had to do. I had a friend on the set. He was so hard, they had to tape down his erection to his leg. They taped him with masking tape. They taped it down because she said, "Listen, I can't do the scene. I got he's right near my private parts and blah, blah, blah." So they got the crew guy comes out with the masking tape and starts, cutting it, putting it, cutting it, that's
brilliant.
Story. That's it. My buddy was there. He saw it. Now he didn't see they cover it with, like a dead body, when they put the tarp up. But that was if you see that movie, that is a real intense scene because they were both naked. She was riding on top of him as the girlfriend of Gary Gilmore, and they had to tape down his schmeckle. They had to tape it down with masking tape. And let me ask a question. When you get excited, would masking tape work for you?
No, you need Gorilla Tape. The Gorilla Glue tape for me, buddy. That thing. Are you kidding me, man? I'm 63 and 5'3" down there.
Does it work, or do you need the blue pill? Do you need the blue pill? And
no, I'm good. Well, I did when I had my blood pressure problem. Yeah, most of erectile dysfunction comes from high blood pressure, 90%.
Oh, I got you.
So all of a sudden, what the hell's going on here? So I got that.
You're okay now. You're okay.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm I'm a happy man. I mean,
good, man.
yeah. If I'm with Rosanna Arquette, they're going to use the gorilla tape. Trust me. I want to get in that. It's got to be fun when you're married for so long and you get to do a sex scene. And, you know, some people you could tell. I know we're going a little longer, but this is great. This is great banter. And I'm going to edit some of the shit out that when I'm not in it. So we have extra time here. You see the method. I can see when they're making out, there's tongues going in and out each other, you know, and I like that.
That's true. No, when they do that, you know, like on some of these soap operas, when they do it, they use the tongue. Oh yeah.
Is it true?
Julie Benz looked at me and goes, "Oh, I got to make out with him." All right, open mouth, no tongue.
She's gorgeous. I heard a rumor, and you're going to get us out of here and give us everything, and then we'll get Lyndon, our good friend. I heard when they did Monsters Ball, well, not Monsters Ball. What was the one with Billy Bob Thornton and Halle Berry? Is that Monsters Ball? What was the name of that movie?
Yeah, Monsters Ball with Halle Berry.
I heard they really went at it. There's reports that they really went at it
with what's his name?
Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton. Oh yes, they did go at it.
That lucky bastard. Oh,
that lucky bastard.
How do you go? You know, how does Sling Blade go from? And he gets her and he gets Angelina Jolie and Schmuck's like, I love my wife, she's beautiful, but fuck, you know, that's like Steve Kerr getting Steph Curry, and then the next guy he gets is going to be LeBron James Jr. You know, and he's great. It's insane.
Well, 49 is it. 59 is in the books. I had a great time. It went by so fast. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Eric Fish Snyder. I'm Brad Grunny Grunberg, a.k.a. Snacks.